Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. Thank you so much for joining us today at your Overseas Home virtual event, and also at this seminar around the legal processes over in Italy. I hope the morning and the afternoon has been helpful. I hope you've been able to connect with some of our partners and experts that can ultimately help you on your journey of purchasing property overseas in your countries that you're looking at. You may have been with me a little bit earlier in the healthcare seminar, but for those that missed that session, it can be found on our demand section. But my name is Seb, and I'm one of the business development managers here at Your Overseas Home. For this session, I'm joined by no other than Manlio from Sea Legal. I've been working with Manlio personally now for over 2 years and Sea Legal, and he's our trusted partner over in Italy, and he's just helped hundreds of our clients purchase property in Italy. So thank you, Manlio, for all your expertise that you've given them, and hopefully the audience in this session will also find it very useful. So yeah, Manlio will be sharing his insight into the legal process of moving over into Italy. And it's great to have so many of the audience with us today, whether you're watching live or on demand. This event, the whole virtual event, is designed to support you, the buyers, and provide the right guidance and give you the opportunities to get your questions answered around purchasing overseas. Once Manlio has done his presentation and discussion, we'll open up the floor to any questions from the audience. So throughout the whole session, please feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. We'll hopefully get around to answering as many of them as possible, but if we don't, I will point you in the direction of Manlio's and Sea Legal's exhibition booth in the Italy Hall. But yeah, I say we'll move forward now with some information around Italy and how to purchase over there. So as you mentioned, we've got Manlio with us. So thanks for joining us, Manlio. Do you mind just giving us a brief introduction on yourself, Sea Legal,
sure,
and how you can help clients?
For sure. Hi, Seb. Thank you for inviting me and our firm as your partner, legal expert in Italy. We are a boutique law firm based headquartered in Rome, and we provide the legal service to foreign clients, mainly real estate law, immigration law, business setup or company law, and inheritance of will. Our department and me personally of the law firm, we provide the legal service our real estate purchase process. We assist many foreign clients throughout the process. We have also the office all over Italy, in Milan, another in Tuscany, in Lucca, another in Ostuni, Puglia, another region in Piedmont, and also two in Sicily, Noto, and in Palermo. Our main expertise we are dedicated to provide legal service to foreign clients, as our clientele is 100% international from all over the world. Italy for the moment is in incredibly high demand, mainly from US clients, maybe for the television show White Lotus that took place on HBO. And we are really consistently assisting American, but also international clients in purchasing property and assisting them from the legal point of view, which is really, really important. I don't hear you, Seb. You are mute.
Sorry, Mando, you got me. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. And yeah, it's great to get an understanding of where you guys are based over there in Italy. As I mentioned, we've been working with one another for a number of years now. You predominantly have been helping our clients with all of their requirements when buying over in Italy, not just perhaps the legal proceedings, but other parts of the process as well. So yeah, thank you so much. We've, from our side, we've really noticed Italy becoming more and more popular. It is so important to us that our clients, the attendees listening today, are working with trusted and reputable agents over there in Italy, and Manlio and his team at C Legal are very much that. So yeah, thanks a lot. Manlio, we'll go straight through into some questions from the audience. As mentioned, if there are any from the audience at all, please do feel free to pop them into the chat function at the bottom, and we'll get through to answering as many of them as possible. But the first question, probably to start off with, Manlio, is when would you advise is a good time for clients, if they're looking to purchase in Italy, to actually get in touch with C Legal?
Well, we suggest our clients, before entering into any binding contract with the counterpart, to find the assistance from a trusted lawyer, because Italian law could appear tricky, but as a foreigner is purchasing a property in Italy, or handling with the public administration, is always advised that a client is assisted by a competent authority, a competent professional who speak English and can advise also for Italian law, but also with the international aspect of the transaction, or also for the law, for example, also for the fiscal point of view.
Yeah.
So we advise at the beginning of the process to finding expertise or assistance from a professional, from a lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such an important part of the process, especially, there's a lot to think about when buying property overseas. And yeah, we totally would suggest that, if you're looking to purchase in Italy, to get in touch with C Legal and Manlio as early as possible, so you understand the process, and they can assist you throughout the whole journey as well. So yeah, thanks for giving that insight. I mean, what is the process, Manlio? So let's say I'm a client that's looking to buy in Puglia. I'm coming across on a viewing trip in 2 weeks' time. How do I approach C Legal, and what would be the process? Do I meet you face to face? Do I give you a call? Do I email you? How would it work?
We are able now, with after COVID, to work remotely. We can complete the transaction completely remotely now. Also, we use power of attorney, which means we represent the clients. The clients doesn't need to appear in front of at the closing in presence, because it's mandatory to appear in front of the notary in presence. But we represent the clients at the closing with power of attorney, which means we sign all the paperwork, the deeds with the power of attorney. Usually our clients contact us, and we suggest to contact the law firm prior to sign any binding contracts, because as the proposal to purchase, for example, in Italy, is a contract. If you sign it, the proposal is accepted by the seller, is a contract already binding, which means estate agents propose all the buyers a purchase proposal, which is a contract. If accepted by the seller, is a contract already binding, which means the buyer has to provide a deposit with a certain time. But we suggest to draft the proposal with the contingency clause, which means to carry out due diligence before the contract become binding and have full effects, legal effects. Because due diligence is a really important aspect during the purchase process. It's really important from the legal point of view. We search on the title deeds. We check if the property has a lien, any legal issue, mortgage, third-party claims, debts on the property, etc. The estate agent does not mention possible issue on the property. We are also appointed. We provide also technical service on the property, technical due diligence. We appoint on behalf of our clients a local surveyor for site inspection, which is really important. And we work together and verify if the property has all the building authorization, all the authorization are really enforced, if they are being carried out work without any building permits, and definitely if the property is legal, transferable after the closing, because the notary, also a lot of clients are confused about the role of the notary. The notary arrives at the end of the process in Italy, not at the beginning. The notary has the final role to register the contract in the land registry. But the process is a long journey. In fact, at the beginning, you already pay the client, the buyer has to pay a deposit, which is also a huge amount if the property has a really high price. So it's necessary to carry out due diligence before any legal commitment.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Thanks, Manlio. So it's really important. We recommend in our literature as well, and all our guidance clients to get independent reviews, independent outsider views on the buying process. I know you mentioned there notaries come right at the end of the process. A lot of estate agents will recommend their own notaries and professionals to actually check the properties, whereas C Legal, being from the outside in, will give you an unbiased and impartial view of that property purchase and make sure it's all above board and it's a safety net. So yeah, so it's so important that you are working with someone that is independent of perhaps your estate agent who's trying to sell the property to you. As mentioned, yeah, please keep the questions coming through. We've just had one through, Manlio, from Megan. It's around dual citizenship. So do you suggest doing dual citizenships from the US or while in Italy as a US citizen seeking jus sanguinis?
Well, we also assist many foreign clients in acquiring Italian citizenship. There are many ways to acquire Italian citizenship. Obviously, in the US, there are a lot of requests. The Italian consulate abroad in the US are really busy with the request of American citizens who would like to acquire Italian citizenship. In fact, to the Italian consulate in the US, the request takes up 3-4 years in order to acquire the Italian citizenship. The Italian law, in fact, implement another procedure in the way that also US can stay in Italy for 60 days and apply to the in every municipality in Italy. The procedure is quite less, and they will get Italian citizenship in a short time, in 6 months. Obviously, upfront, we need to prepare all the documentation in order to prove all the descendants, and all the paperwork has to be legalized, translated with apostille. We also have a huge number of clients we are assisting through the process of acquiring Italian citizenship.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Manlio, and thanks, Megan. After this seminar, if you'd like to go into more in depth about your individual plans, please go to Manlio's booth. He'll be able to answer your questions, even set up perhaps a call or video call to go through it in a more in depth and in more detail. But thanks a lot for the question. We have some more pre-questions here aimed at visas and things like that, which of course have come into effect since Brexit, Manlio. But yes. The first question that came through is, how long can someone stay, let's say a British buyer, how long can someone stay in Italy without a visa at the moment?
At the moment, Britain citizen as a non-European citizen can stay in Italy without a visa for 90 days for tourism purpose. After 90 days, they should exit from the Schengen area and stay for an additional 90 days abroad and come back in additional 90 days. Okay.
Perfect. That's great answer. So 90 days without a visa, and then has to leave and come back. Thanks, Manlio. How does someone actually apply for a visa? Do they do that through you, Manlio? And what is the actual process?
Yes, we also have a department, immigration department, and our law firm. We provide both citizenship, Italian citizenship assistance, but also visa assistance. There are different types of visa. One linked with the acquisition of property could be visa for elective residency, which means non-European citizen can acquire visa for elective residency, purchasing a property in Italy or renting it out a property in Italy. But this kind of visa does not allow to the applicant the possibility to work in Italy even remotely. There is economic requirements to obtain this kind of visa, which is 32,000 euros per year, and providing and showing to the Italian authorities abroad, Italian consulate, that is economic requirements coming from passive income, from rentals, from investment funds, from pensions, etc. If the family this is for only one person, but is from one more member of family, the economic requirements will be higher, will be had for a percentage, depending the number of the family.
Okay.
There are also other kind of visa. In Italy, for example, really briefly, is not still Italian government still does not implement a nomad visa, unfortunately. There are a lot of clients with a waiting list for this visa. Italian law already applied for the Legge Quadro, for the main law, but we are still waiting for the requirements from the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Interior Minister. So we hope that in the next couple, 3 months or 3 months, we will have also digital nomad visa, which allows also to stay in Italy and work remotely. That now is possible for a lot of professionals, actually.
Yeah, no, it's massive, and we get loads of inquiries about nomad visas. I'm glad that you touched upon that, Manlio. Thanks a lot. Just one last sort of question around, or a couple of questions around the visa. Does someone have to, I suppose, apply for that visa in the UK, or do they wait until they get to Italy? And how much does it normally cost?
In terms of application, the first request must to be to the Italian consulate where the applicant resides. If the applicant lives in London, the competent Italian consulate will be Italian consulate in London.
Sure.
I see that there is a question. As far as the applicant obtain a visa for elective residency, as far as they will arrive in Italy, they should obtain a request permesso di soggiorno within 80 days from the arrival in the Italian territory. And every year, the visa for elective residency is valid for 2 years, and after has to be renewable for the additional 1 year. And every year, the applicant must show and prove the same economic means to stay in Italy and without working. Okay.
All right, brilliant. Thanks for that. Adrian, hopefully that answers your question as well. If it doesn't, please take it away from the seminar and speak to Manlio. We've got another one through here from Ivo. It might be not one that's perhaps you can answer, Manlio, but I'll put it towards you just in case. It's around income tax. So is a client liable to Italian income tax with a property resident visa, even with passive/pensions income? Don't know if you can see that one.
Is one liable to Italian income tax with the property residency? Well, even with passive pension income. Well, if the applicant if purchase a property in Italy, has to pay the Italian property taxation. Another thing is that if the applicant of a visa acquired residence in Italy, as far as the applicant acquire a residency in Italy, is also become Italian fiscal resident. with all the obligation to pay taxes in Italy and pay also all the worldwide income everywhere produced. Obviously, this matter is really quite difficult because in Italy has a treaty with all the international, all foreign countries in order to avoid double taxation. I'm just stay really general in my answer.
No, well, yeah, I say that was a good answer. And Ivo, I don't know if you were online a little bit earlier on today, but we held a session around the financial side of moving to Italy with Chase Buchanan and Alex, and that it can be viewed on demand, or you may be able to catch Alex on the booth now in the after this session, sorry, in Italy exhibition hall. But yeah, thanks very much for your question, and thanks, Manlio. So we'll move through. We've got a question earlier on today through our portal. It's around, again, the visas, but the question is, my partner, who is unmarried, has an EU passport, so can I live in Italy with her without a visa?
No, they should acquire yes, visa. But I don't understand. One partner is not a European citizen, correct?
So one partner's got a EU passport, the other, they're unmarried, and the other is a UK resident, so doesn't have an EU passport.
There should be a possibility that also the non-EU citizen can acquire residency with the partner of EU citizen. You should verify in depth if there is some agreement, partnership agreement, etc. I don't know if they mention or not, but it is possible. As also in Italy, coppie di fatto are allowed to obtain the same rights as also the married party, the married couple.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks a lot. And we just got another question through, Manlio. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's from Jenny Gray. When digital nomad visas come in, what will it allow you to do? And do you have any more info on what we are likely to need to get one?
Unfortunately, we don't have information, but generally speaking, we can say that digital nomad visa allow the applicant to stay in Italy longer than 90 days, work remotely, and I cannot reply about the taxation because it is an open point at this stage. We are still waiting for the requirements by the Italian ministries.
Sure. Yeah, Jenny, I think it'd be worthwhile to stay connected with C-Legal and Manlio as we kind of get more information around digital nomad visas. Manlio and C-Legal will be the first to know, and obviously can reach out to you and update you. But yeah, very good question as well. So thanks a lot. One of the questions that actually came through, it's I don't want to say perhaps difficult one to answer, but is there any reasons why someone perhaps would get denied a visa?
Some partner?
So why someone may not get a visa authorized by the Italian state? Did sort of fail to get a visa?
Yes, we assist many clients in visa. At this time, we still not have any rejection about the visa application. But in case of denial, if there is a legal issue, the applicant can file a lawsuit against the denial and obtain also a case law and 90 days obtain a visa. This depends from the situation. The competent authority is in Rome. Okay,
brilliant. So there's no sort of, I say this, I presume there are criminal checks and things like that in place for visas beforehand? No?
No, criminal check, no. Criminal records is not required. It's not mandatory to provide.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully that's not the case for any of our listeners in today, but there you go, just in case it is. But so going across now around how difficult it is to get self-employed visas. I presume it's similar at the moment to digital nomad visas, but can your family come with you on a self-employed visa?
Yes, we are now assisting a Swedish couple, which will relocate to Italy, and they will carry out business in Italy. They will open a personal individual activity. They will not open a company. So they will acquire Italian residency, and they will open also a business activity with what number. And we are also verifying all the fiscal aspects, because now Italy has also a new repatriate regime, which allows to benefit the fiscal incentives from people who relocate to Italy and choose Italy as country of residency.
Okay, good. No, that's good to understand. Brilliant. Yeah, so if anyone's got any more questions, please let them come in. We've got one final question from earlier today. It's around the tax obligation. So does your tax obligation follow you if you go for residency visa, or can you continue with British tax?
If the applicant become Italian residency,
yeah,
will become Italian fiscal residency.
Okay.
Resident, which means the applicant has to pay and file the taxes, tax return in Italy, and verify if they still produce income abroad. They have to file a special check on the dichiarazione dei redditi on tax revenue, indicating the amount of this single income, foreign income. Obviously, we can verify the double taxation 3D in order to avoid the double taxation, because I suppose that also in England is taxed this income. So it's better to find also an assistance through a chartered account familiar with international taxation. We also have our international chartered account in our office, and we also advise from the fiscal position of our clients, which is also really important.
Yeah, very important, But yeah, thanks. That's a really insightful piece of information. And yeah, thank you, Manlio, for all of your expertise, not just this afternoon, but throughout the time we've been working with one another. As you're going back to it, the feedback I get from the clients I work with around Sea Legal and Manlio is second to none. So please do get in touch with Manlio or Sea Legal as early on as possible within your plans, just so you can connect with one another, understand the process, which again is unique given everyone's circumstances are different, and then work with each other until the point where you find your dream property and hopefully live over in Italy in the lovely sunshine. But Manlio, that's all about we have time for today. So thank you again for your time and for sharing your knowledge with us. If any of the listeners do have any other further questions, go across to Manlio's and Sea Legal's booth in the Italy exhibition hall. We've got about an hour left today, but we will be on demand for the following month, and also we can connect you with Manlio at any time. The next session today is at 3:30, where we'll be covering foreign exchange requirements, so please do join us for that. But thanks again for joining us today. Thanks, Manlio.
Thank you, and have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Yeah, you too, Manlio. Cheers. Take care.
Bye.